Hello everybody, and welcome to this week's energy update with me, Rebecca. So sorry I have missed the past couple weeks. I just feel like time has been getting away from me. I've been extremely busy and honestly, in full transparency, kind of working through some burnout. So I did just need to have a step back the past couple weeks. So I deeply apologize for not being as present. I've had a few people reach out, and I just want to say thank you so much for reaching out. I'm looking forward to getting back at it this week. And yes, I'm still taking sessions. Yes, I'm still available for bookings and readings. So please don't hesitate. Please don't feel I'm not doing that anymore. I'm absolutely doing it. I love doing it, and will probably do this the rest of my life. So if you want to book in at any point to do a session, please don't hesitate. So yes, I'm still here. So let's dive into this week, my friends. I'm really excited. We have some really beautiful themes. We've also had some recurring themes that I feel like are just kind of sticking with us the past few weeks, this past month specifically, that I've been really seeing, which has been kind of more of this leaning into our joy, leaning more into our dreams, learning how to have gratitude, learning how to really cultivate an abundant life no matter what space we're in, but also these themes of what is coming through for transformation. So the past few weeks, I don't know if many of you have noticed this or have experienced this, and if you have, please let me know, and know you're not alone in it, is a lot of the old stories, a lot of the ego stories have been coming up very loud and very invasively. So what I mean by that is a lot of our former patterns, a lot of these things that have been our deep traumas, our deep wounds, our deep triggers seem to have been really surfacing as well as we're kind of navigating this new territory. And it's really interesting because I feel like a lot of us, and for most of us who have this inner awareness, we're realizing why they're so loud. They're really loud because they need to be honored, because they need to be heard, because they need to be felt. And it's funny because a lot of us might be like, oh my gosh, like when are these stories gonna just be done? Like, I thought I healed this. I thought this was over. I thought I grieved this. I thought I worked through this. But they're really kind of showing me these last remnants that are surfacing. So these last toxins, this final like detoxification, this purge that's coming through. And I shouldn't say the last time, because they're also kind of showing us the human experience. And this deep reminder that we are human has been coming through loud and clear, to the point where we're starting to realize that life is going to be this ever-flowing experience of both. It's going to be the pain, it's going to be the suffering, but also it can be the love, it can be the joy. And this interconnectedness of both, and the full experience of all the feelings and all the emotions, and really learning how to immerse ourselves into each of those avenues. So what's been coming up this week is very much on point with this, helping ourselves come to this awareness that we're in this human experience and it is what we make of it, and to stop villainizing the emotions we have, to stop villainizing negative or positive, and kind of like having this black and white perspective. And really coming to this awareness now as we move into this next week of how do I want this experience to be, and how can I give myself the freedom to participate in it in every aspect. So this week we're having this big reminder of how far we've come and how we're coming more fully into ourselves than ever before. And we're giving ourselves this extreme gift of freedom. And it's really interesting because the word is extreme here, because we're actually really fully embracing it. We're really leaning into it. How can I be free? How can I release the chains that are holding me back? And a lot of us are going to come to this awareness of where we've been holding back ourselves emotionally, and where we ourselves have been the culprit. So this week it's really beautiful. Now we're moving into this expansion. Now we're seeing how far we have truly come, and even our understanding of human life and our human life. So let's get into what channeled here. So the first messages feel like some repeat messages that I keep getting week to week, which is going easy, going slow, and moving in with this ease and grace. Okay, so this big reminder, enjoy your life. Okay, so go easy, go slow, enjoy more, savor your life. And then they kind of started listing these more seemingly negative aspects where it's like feeling incomplete, feeling like you need to eradicate negativity, like almost like listing these issues that a lot of us might have had in the past and the conditioning we've had in the past. And then they kind of just went in, it's now time for this allowance of growth and this expansion out of this. So it's really cool because they're kind of showing me someone who grew up with so much conditioning, with so much of this is the way life is, so much of society shaping and molding, that now we're at this point where we're finally growing up and we're growing out of this conditioning. And for some of us, this might be for the first time, but they're kind of showing me this completeness happening where it's like, oh my gosh, now I can see everything so clearly. Now I can see where I was a slave to this conditioning. So it's really beautiful. So allowance of this growth, not tears. Now this was huge because once again, we're expanding, right? We're not regressing. We're not looking back at what we've gone through with pain, with tears. We're now moving out of this with joy and pride. That's what they're immediately making me feel, is like almost the emotion wants to come up because it's like, I'm so proud of myself. Like, look how far I've come. And they're just showing me how all of us have been unhooking ourselves from the programming, removing the chains, removing the confusion, because we're finally seeing our conditioning for what it was and realizing like that's not me. That's not who I am. That's not my story. That's not who I have to continue to be. And it's this beautiful growing up that they're showing me. It's like, wow, I'm an adult. I can make my own decisions. I can live free from these painful stories that I thought I had to be a slave to. So it's this beautiful awareness that is dropping in this week of just how far you've come, how amazing you are for taking these steps to get here. And it's this pride that's now coming in where you're realizing your life can be totally different now, which is so powerful. So the reminder came in to think twice. So think twice before becoming a slave again. And they specifically mentioned to worry or doubt, okay? And this is what's going to happen when we're stepping outside of our programming of things that we've believed all our lives. It's going to feel intimidating. It's going to feel scary. It's going to feel like we can't do it. We aren't capable. There's no way, that I could believe that I'm someone different now or I'm more capable, whatever the story may be. So they're kind of showing me this need for confidence to take these next steps this week. So they're like, be very mindful. We have to check ourselves. We're going to have to go, oh, that's an old story and I don't have to listen anymore. And we're going to have the awareness to think twice, right? So that our automatic reactions might not be fully rewired yet. Our instincts from all those years of programming and training might not be fully rewired yet. So it's almost like the mental capacities are there, but our instincts now need to be reshaped, reforged, out of this programmed response. So think twice before you become a slave to worry or doubt. Belief now is necessary. Take control. Believe. Make yourself new again. Now, I thought this was so beautiful because once again, it's really highlighting how our beliefs shape our reality and the power of that. So think of a strong belief you hold about yourself and think about it. Is it really the truth? You know, one of these big ones for almost every human is, I'm not good enough, right? I need to be better. I need to improve, right? These are beliefs that we hold and can subconsciously be running the scenes in the background. So have awareness this week of those stories, those thoughts that you continuously have. Another one that comes to mind is, I don't know if I'll ever be healthy. I don't know if I can be fully healthy. This is a specific one for someone here. So they're like, you need to start believing, yes, you can be healthy. Yes, you have a healthy body. Yes, you can heal. You are capable, right? And it's like allowing yourself to lean into the new belief. And the key is being willing. So they're showing me a lot of us are doing this or have done this already. And now it's almost like we just have to take control. We just have to go, nope, I see you, belief. I'm aware of you. And now I'm moving on. So don't fall prey to the old stories and allow yourself to believe. And that's key. We have to give ourselves permission to believe the new. Okay. And I love how they said this, like, make yourself new again. Now, this is also key, the wording here. You are the one who renews yourself, not anyone else. So they're kind of showing me, once again, this outsourcing that a lot of us are going to be tempted to do. Well, I need someone else to come in and fix me. I need someone else to tell me what's wrong with me. I need someone else to give me the tools and the guidelines. And they're like, whoa, 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 you're forgetting the power of your soul that's inside you. Your soul has all of the answers. So they're giving me this example of someone who wants to start a business, but they don't know how. They're not sure the steps. They don't know how to confidently move forward. They're like, well, if you stopped worrying about it, stopped overthinking about it and being all up in your mental capacities and actually went to your heart and went to your soul, your higher self, and just asked, the tools will be there. And that's what's so cool is we're learning to become self-sufficient in a good way. So once again, this is in balance. So yes, this doesn't mean we're going to be so independent that we never ask for help. This doesn't mean that we're not going to ask for support when we need it. However, they're showing me a lack of confidence here where someone just now needs to believe in themselves, where someone just needs to stop asking outside of them and going, okay, I can do this, and having the belief to back it up. So this week, practice going to your higher selves. And if you're unsure how to do this, allow yourself to simply meditate or journal. And setting the intention before you meditate or before you journal to connect with your soul's wisdom. So thank you, higher self, for channeling through to me the messages that I need to know about this situation. And word it however you want and ask your questions and trust what comes up in your heart. And the key here is it cannot just be mental. This is actually very important. They're showing me so many of us falling into this trap that we can figure everything out mentally when your body's actually way more responsive and is way more instinctual. It will have the answer sometimes before your mind can even catch up. And they want you to review the evidence of that. How many times has something not felt right in your body before you've caught on to mentally why? Okay? So stop doubting your body's wisdom. Stop doubting your soul's wisdom. Where have you put way more stock into your brain, into your mental pathway, as opposed to your physical pathway? Okay? It's very important. You cannot elevate yourself out of your body. And I mean this in the sense of you cannot mentally only do the work. The physical has to be a part of it. It's body, mind, soul connection. It's that sequence for a reason, okay? So body, mind, soul. So how can you move through your challenges this week? How can you approach your questions this week with this approach? Have I checked in with my mental space? Great. Have I checked in with my physical space? Great. Have I checked in with my soul space? Great. Okay? And this is how we evolve. And this is how all parts of us then get on board with what we're doing next. And this is actually very key, because if you don't want to be held back anymore, you have to embrace all aspects of you, all parts of you, even the parts that are scared, even the parts that are afraid, and helping them get on board with what your next steps are. So they're kind of showing me this enlightenment coming through, the soul, the body, the mental capacity, all coming together. And it's like, wow, okay, now I've got my answer. Now this is the way, this is how I'm going to move forward. But we also have to recognize when there's also these parts of us that are like, I just don't know if I'm ready yet, okay? They're really showing me this, even in the physical. It's like in that feminine energy. So it's hard, because so many of us have worked through the masculine energy, the go, 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 the do, 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 the I'm empowered, I can do all this, I'll work hard, blah, blah, blah. But these other sides of us that have not been embraced, we're not learning how to trust that. So they're kind of showing me that we have to learn how to also surrender, and how we have to learn to trust and flow, and to really lean in and trust our spiritual sides as well as our own capability. And this is where we're struggling. Okay, this is where we're struggling. So we know the old way very well. We know how to do all of that. Where we don't know how, and where we have not practiced as much, is in these energies of surrender, of trust. So this is where they're asking us to lean in, okay? So how do we do that? We have to build our faith, okay? We have to build our faith. We have to learn how to work with these sides of ourselves that are afraid, that do need reinforcement and do need support. Okay, so now this is when we do need help. Okay, because some of us are going to be all up in those emotions this week, because they're kind of showing me that of like, oh my God, how do I do this? Oh my God, what about this? And that's when that worry comes in, and it's almost like a self-sabotage cycle. So they're showing that this energy comes in, and it's like, oh my God, I just got all the clarity, but now it's like I have to worry about it. Now I have to figure it out. Now it's like the how. And they're like, stop that. Stop that pattern, okay? How can we stop that pattern in its tracks and learn how to move through even our dreams, our goals, our next steps with this different approach of I am safe, everything is happening for me and for my highest good, and to release the need to fear the unknown, okay? Because there will be unknown. And they're kind of showing me that this is part of the process, is we have to learn how to be in these in-between spaces of, okay, I have the clarity, but I don't know how to build it, and I don't know how to get there yet. And they're kind of showing us teetering along that fine line where clarity hasn't fully come in yet of how. And they're just saying, release. You don't need to know how. All you need to know is what you're feeling intuitively to do in this moment. That's all you need. You don't need 10 steps ahead right now. You need the first step. So they're showing me, once again, many of us are pre-planning too much. You're going way down the road. I need to have all these answers. I need to have everything just right. I need to do but. They're like, stop it. Okay? You need to let go of control. You need to give it a rest. We just gave you the clarity of where you're going. We don't need you to know how you're going to get there. We don't need you to know the next 100 steps. What we do need you to know is what you need to do right now. So go in once again. When this fear comes up, when you get caught up in that spiral train of thoughts, come back and go, okay, breathe, connect with your body, be grounded, go for a walk, get in nature, take a bath, whatever you need to do. Allow yourself to reconnect to your energy, to your soul, to your heart, and go, what is it that I'm feeling I need to do right now? And the key is deciphering what is not tangled up in your fear, because fear is what's going to come through in extreme urgency. I need you to do this. I need you to have this, blah, 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 because you're afraid you're not going to be safe, right? So instead of listening to that, go within yourself and go, what is calm? What is steady? What is the actual truth in my heart that I know is truthful right now? And so they're kind of showing me this detachment that we're going to start developing from our fear, where we see fear as very necessary. We see fear as this defense, and we're grateful for it. We're thankful for it. Thank you for keeping me safe. But we're learning how to have this healthy detachment where we know when to let go and go, it's okay. I know I'm afraid right now, so how can I nurture myself? How can I bring myself back to my center and let this be? And with practice, the more and more easy you work with your fears, you work with these parts of you that are terrified, that are scared, and you understand them. And the other thing to mention here is it's more than understanding, it's more how to work with them. Because once again, they're showing me, oh, I understand my emotions. And once again, our mind goes, oh yeah, I know why I feel this way. Well, that's great. However, you're not doing anything to change the energy. So they're kind of showing me taking the actual body and moving it somewhere else. So what I mean by that is you removing yourself from this actual space you're in of fear and putting yourself in a brand new energy. So once again, returning back to the practice of what makes me calm, what physically makes me feel reconnected, what makes my body feel at ease, what helps me be present. So when you're in the fear spiral, take action. Don't sit and think about it. Don't sit and try to process, why am I feeling this way? You know what you're feeling. It's fear. It's panic. So what can you do to now change that energy? Once again, we're not villainizing here. We're going, okay, I understand I'm afraid. So what can I do to nurture myself, right? So you think of a child's so in their emotions. They're so themselves. There's none of this, oh, I think I need to pause and think about why I'm crying. No. And this is what we need to get back to. You know, a lot of us have done a lot of inner work, and so we think and we think and we think and we break down and we break down and we break down and we overanalyze why we're feeling how we're feeling, instead of just embracing how you're feeling and just feeling it. And then allowing yourself to feel something else, which means I can also feel joy. It's okay if I feel sad, but I can also be happy. So they're kind of showing me, like, feel how you feel, but learn how to work with your emotions. Don't remove them. Don't be all up in the toxic positivity where it's like, oh, now I'm just going to think happy thoughts. No, you're upset. Be upset. But learn how to move yourself out of it. So they're kind of showing me an action plan for worry. So if you're a worrier, create an action plan. What are things that I can immediately go to that will help shift me out of my worry, back into my body and back into my joy? Okay? So activities that light you up, activities that help put you back in your body are absolutely necessary. So think nature. Think water, think grounding, think exercise, think very physically, okay? Once again, get out of the mind into the body. The body needs more attention, okay? And when you start listening to the body's needs, you'll find that the mental capacities become way more clear. So they're just showing me this a beautiful partnership with the mind and the body, and they stop fighting each other. They start working together. They start harmonizing. So think nervous system, think regulation, right? And how that's so hand in hand. And we're learning so much about this. So learn how to harmonize this. Learn how to work with this. So make an action plan before you get caught up and triggered again. So they're kind of showing me what are your go-to things that you can do where you know, okay, this is that same story. I don't need to go into it. What I need to do is not tolerate the panic anymore. I need to take my inner child's hand and say, come on, we don't need to feel this all the time anymore. We don't have to be afraid anymore. We can now choose something different for ourselves. And they're showing me this complete transformation from living in survival mode to living in the present. And it's so beautiful. So every time you choose that for yourself is a win. Okay, and they're showing me this build of confidence because you're showing up for yourself. You're no longer allowing yourself to wallow and sit in fear, in panic, and worry. You're going, no, we deserve better than this. Okay, yes, I feel this way, but it's time to change the story. I don't need to feel this every day. I don't need to be a slave to my fear anymore. Okay, and this changes so much in our reality. So what was really cool too is they were then showing me this transformation, kind of like this phoenix energy where everything's burnt to the ground. Okay, so maybe this is how you felt, is like, wow, everything that I thought I wanted, everything that I reached for, it just never works out. They're kind of showing me like things just being trampled to dust. Okay. And then they're showing me this little seed that sprouts and this little plant that's pushing through the dirt. So maybe for the longest time, everything broke apart. Maybe everything fell to pieces. Maybe all you saw was the dirt. And you're like, there's nothing growing from that. It's just dirt. It's dead. There's nothing alive there anymore. And they're kind of showing me this like lack of faith, this lack of motivation, this depression, this life never gets better. And then they're showing me now that the dirt is soil. It's full of nutrients. It's full of what needed to go to now bring about new life. So what's interesting is the words came through, for what is dead may never die. And some of you might recognize that quote from Game of Thrones. But that's what came through to me, was what is dead may never die. And I thought this was so interesting because it's true. We might have thought something was completely gone. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe it's the way we've lived life. Whatever it is that you thought was gone actually isn't. Okay? It's a rebirth. And that's what they're showing me, is this breaking down so we could break through. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to accept, is that our deepest heartaches, our deepest pains that crack us open have been necessary to break free. So they're just showing me all the old stories that held us as a slave, that held us captive, that kept us under the thumb of pain and suffering, were necessary. And we're starting to see that because it's like, wow, I needed to actually see all of these stories, whether they were programmed into me, whether they were given to me ancestrally, whatever the contract is that your soul made, is almost like your soul needed to experience all of these things to really break free. And you're starting to realize that. And then you're starting to also see, oh, that doesn't mean it's over. That doesn't mean my life's over because I had to go through all this pain, because I had to go through all this trauma. I had to go through my life the way it was. That doesn't mean that has to continue to be my story. And that's what's so beautiful, is now you're willing to grow out of it. And that's what's so beautiful. So what channeled here, for what is dead may never die. What you thought lost has now been regained. Recapturing the inner child and returning it to innocence once again. Now, this is so powerful. So, once again, we're going to see the things that we thought we had to give up. Love, family, pieces of ourselves, authenticity, our voice, whatever. We're now reclaiming it, and we're giving it to ourselves again. And this is how powerful it is, because they showed me the inner child, and we're taking that inner child and going, there is nothing that was ever wrong with you. You do deserve this. You do deserve every good thing. And here you go. You're giving it to that child without regret, without guilt, with nothing holding you back anymore, because you've grown out of it. And they're just showing me love. Love. It's always been there. But for so long, we wouldn't allow ourselves to touch it because of our stories, because of our pain, because of how we thought we had to struggle through life and deny ourselves the good. So once more comes this equilibrium, comes back the balance, comes back the harmony. It's like, no, you need this. You need to learn how to balance this. So some of us have had things taken away so we could see how limited we were, how we refused to give ourselves the good stuff. So if you've been living through your life and it's just been pain, it's just been arduous, it's just been hard work after hard work without any good stuff being given to you, and you're like, universe, why are you giving to me? And the universe is going, why aren't you giving to you? And they're like, we need you to be open. We need you to be willing to receive what's good for you. But you refuse to give yourself what's right in front of you, right? And love's been there all along, being offered to you. But you have denied its existence for yourself. So this is what's so beautiful, is once again, a lot of us thought we'll never have what we need. We'll never get what we need. There's always something we need to work on. There's always some way we need to improve. And now we're learning how to be enough. No, you are enough right now for love, for your needs, for everything you've desired. You are enough. And once again, it was the programming that made you believe otherwise. It was the stories that were so loud you couldn't see past them. But now you've grown up. You've elevated out of that story, and now you're elevated to this point where you can look down and see the truth and go, oh my God, I was such a slave to that story. But I'm not anymore. So now we're getting 2020 vision. This is so interesting. So they're kind of showing me, if some of you have had vision problems, it has also been tied to this. And now that we're clearing the third eye, we're removing this illusion, this lie, your health is going to improve. Your eye health is going to improve. They're also showing me the throat chakra. Anything to do with your throat is going to improve. So your health is going to dramatically improve by this change of story, by this change in your life that you're finally willing to make, which is to believe something else now, to give to yourself now, to meet your needs, to prioritize them and go, here you go, because this is what you deserve. Okay? So that's what's so beautiful, is we are recapturing the inner child and returning them to innocence once again. So this is key. You're innocent. You're innocent. Okay? And I think it was interesting, the words recapturing the inner child. So where were we just letting it run wild and not paying attention to it? That's what they're kind of showing me. We're like, I don't even know where my inner child is right now. It's doing whatever. I don't listen to it. I don't pay attention to it. And now we're like grabbing that child's hand, we're bringing it back, and we're going, come here. I'm ready to look at you. I'm ready to see you. I'm ready to give you what you need. I'm ready to listen. So it's beautiful. And we're clearing our name. We're clearing the guilt, the shame that we've ever felt. To see we've always been innocent. We've always been deserving. So a channel next, for now you are whole. When you finally embrace who you are again, you don't need what you thought you did. You don't need what you used to. And they highlighted validation here. You are whole on your own. Now this was huge. So once again, mega downloads coming in this week for a lot of us of like, wow, when I pay attention to myself, I realize I'm totally complete. Go figure. When you actually look at yourself, your needs, and you meet them, you're like, whoa, I'm whole. I don't need anything. I'm not lacking anything anymore. And it's like, ding, ding, ding. Here we were running the rat race, giving of ourselves, doing all this stuff, waiting for others to give back to us. Some of us had the story of, when I'm good enough, the universe will reward me. No, you have to reward you. And when you're in that vibration, then all comes in. You're willing to receive. That's what the universe was waiting for. It was like, goodness gracious me. Look at them working away down there. They just don't see their worth. They don't see their value. They don't see themselves that they're already enough. They just stop for a sec, let themselves receive a bit. Man, we could bring more right in. But they've been waiting. And it's so funny. I'm seeing this angel right now just smiling away like, oh, there you go. They got it. It took us a long time, but we got it. And that's what's so amazing is we're learning this lesson. We're finally coming to this full circle moment. I'm just getting chills. It's like, oh my God, I can finally be happy. I can finally be free because I'm finally willing to see I'm so much more than I ever thought. And it's so beautiful because you no longer care what anyone else thinks. You don't need anyone else's validation. You don't need anyone to give you anything anymore because you're like, wow, all my needs are supplied, right? And it's so cool because they're showing me the more we care for ourselves, the more we nurture ourselves, the more we invest in ourselves and put energy and time into ourselves and that inner child and listening. Oh my gosh. It's like you feel like you're flying high. So one of our biggest desires for most people is they just want to be seen. They just want to be understood. They want to be heard. When that big wound can really be mended by you giving that to yourself. So yes, it's absolutely beautiful when you find people who can do that for you. But do you do that for you? Do you listen to your body and its needs? Do you listen to your heart and what it has to say? Do you let yourself share openly who you are? And so this is where it all comes back, is you. It all comes back to you. So stop looking outside of you. And that's what's so interesting is they're just showing me we're so trained to look outside of us for the answers, for people to give us what we need instead of seeing we are so capable. Now, once again, this is imbalance, right? There's going to be moments we'll need others. Absolutely. We're human. We need that support. We need that love 100%. But where do we need to also learn this side of it? Where do we need to learn how to nurture ourselves? Because no one can give you love, or everyone can give you love rather, but you are the only one who can actually receive it. So are you receiving it? right? It's amazing. So as we learn to care for ourselves and embrace who we are, we realize we are whole, okay? We're meeting all our needs. We're coming to this completeness. We no longer need validation from others. And this is also going to shift a lot in even career, okay? Because they're showing me someone who's like chasing the corporate ladder as an example of like, when I recognize, when I have a promotion, then wow, I can be proud of myself. Then I'm good enough. So I'm just going to work. And I need my boss to appreciate me. I need all this stuff. And they're just showing me like consistently looking to others to give us the approval that we're good enough, that we're wonderful, that we're good at our job, And then this other example too of the overgiver. So for a lot of us, we get trapped in this cycle as we give. We don't keep anything for ourselves because that's what we think we need to do to receive the love we need. That's what we think we need to do to be enough. So they're showing me how this has all been kind of tied into our actions, into our careers, like this story of I'm not enough. I need others to validate that I'm good enough. And sometimes even our jobs, that's what makes us feel like we're good enough is when we're helping other people. And they're like, those threads have needed to be cut. So anywhere that this story has lingered in your career or in these actions of overgiving, it's almost like it's just keeping you in this detrimental cycle because when people don't appreciate it, it's so triggering and it's so frustrating. It's like, well, when am I going to be enough for others? When are others going to finally validate what I do? And it all circles back to you. Are you validating you're enough? Are you really seeing your efforts and going, that is enough? You don't have to go so far anymore. Okay? So they're showing me someone who's been so hot wired to give everything to everyone that they have nothing for themselves. So that story might have actually destroyed your life. Okay? And they want you to think about this. Where has that story of overgiving actually harmed you? Okay, so this whole story, you need to be selfless. You need to give everything and not have anything for yourselves. You need to do everything by yourself. You're the one who's strong one. Where has that actually harmed you? And they're giving me the example of your health. Where has your health gone down the toilet because you've given so much? You've been in burnout. You've been hurt. You've had accidents. You've gotten sick. Whatever this is, okay? You need to recognize how this is harming you. And they're almost showing me like the story had to get really loud. So if some of you have been extremely sick or ill or had issues, it's like, when are you going to get the point? Stop it. Nurture yourself. Give to yourself. Let others give to you. Okay? So this need for validation, this need to be given to from others or whatever this is, it's time to wrap up that story. Okay? And once more, we begin to see we are whole on our own. So what's beautiful is then they're kind of going like, spread the word. Okay? So speak. Speak bravely about all you've learned. Be whole. Be complete. Release all judgments around yourself. Allow for innocence. Allow for play. Reconcile your differences. Offer them all up to the one. For oneness shall make you whole. And you will realize you were never alone. So beautiful. So once again, this beautiful reaffirming of this message. Allow yourself to see you're innocent, you're blameless, you do deserve. You can receive without guilt. You can have your needs met. You can experience life feeling whole, happy, and free. Even if pain is present, even if grief is still there, even if fears come in, you deserve to feel everything. And that means the good too. You've been so focused on all the negative. You've been so focused on how life is awful, doesn't work out for you. You've forgotten the balance. You need good stuff too. So why don't you focus there, right? Allow yourself to stop suffering. Stop wallowing. Stop being in that energy. Be in what is good too. Because life is going to always be an experience of both. You know, we've been sold such a story to believe that, oh, when we have this success, then we're going to be happy forever. When I have enough money, when I have the perfect job, when I have a family, when I have children, that's what's going to make me so happy. And we don't think past that. Oh, well, no. Make you happy for a time. But there's also going to be challenges. There's also going to be these other things. So they're kind of showing us romanticizing certain things because we've been sold a dream rather than the reality. Life is going to be imperfect. So how can we enjoy it all, right? The good, the bad, all of it. It's a braid. Every strand you're going to feel, you're going to experience. They're all braided together. So no, you don't just get one. You're going to have them all. So how can you embrace it all? Okay? And it's so beautiful because this gives us more compassion for life. It gives us more grace because it's like, yeah, okay, now I can be more realistic and I can be more enjoyed in my life because I'm no longer focused on just one strand of it. I see the whole picture. Right? And that's what's so beautiful is this is taking so much pressure off of us that life needs to be perfect. And we're not feeling like we're failing anymore. Like we're having to create something better all the time because we're like, wow, you know, actually life can be really good right where I am. And this acceptance of life on the whole spectrum is so freeing. We no longer have to have this expectation that everything needs to be perfect. It's so freeing. And we allow ourselves to have this compassion once more for ourselves. Okay, I don't need to have everything figured out. It is okay if I fail. It is okay if I make mistakes. It is okay. I don't have to blame myself or compare myself to other people and their journeys and their successes. I can go, wow. I can be whole right as I am. Even as I'm failing, even as I take this risk, even as I do this, I can still love myself. I can still have the whole picture. Two things can be true at once. You can be sad and you can be happy at once. Right? And so it's this beautiful awareness that we no longer have to feel bad about who we are or what we're feeling or what we're experiencing. So when they said like reconcile your differences, do it. Like where are you at odds with yourself? Where are you casting parts of you in judgment? Where are you saying you're not enough yet? You need to grow up. You need to be better. Whatever the story is, where are you judging yourself? And how can you be like, wow, I can actually love myself along the journey, right? So we're reconciling, we're bringing peace. I don't need to fight with myself anymore. I don't need to force myself anymore. They gave me the example of like beating the body. So it's like, my God, body, why aren't you fit yet? Why aren't you looking like Kim Kardashian? I've been putting all this energy and work in and you still don't look the way I want. Well, how ridiculous. Your body is going to be how it's going to be. And it's here at this moment, at this stage. So why don't you love it? Why don't you give it the compassion and love it deserves? It works hard for you. And they're showing me someone just beating it up. Beat, 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 beat. You're not good enough. You look ugly. This part I hate. Well, when on earth are you going to give your body positive reinforcement? And they're kind of showing the body retaliating. It's like, oh my God, stop hurting me. Stop picking at me. You're so mean. You're bullying me. Are you a bully? Are you literally your own worst nightmare? Like, who's going to actually thrive from that? Okay, use this example. If you were that hard on someone else, or if someone else was that hard on you, would you stick around for it? Would you stand for it? Would you be like, okay? No. You'd be like, this is BS. I'm not going to do shit for you because you don't appreciate me. You don't value me. You don't respect me. So how do you think your body is going to respond from you beating it up all the time? Telling it it's not good enough. It needs to constantly improve. Well, that is absolutely exhausting. So the body's like refusing to grow. That's kind of what they're showing me. Is for some of us, our bodies are just like, screw you. I'm tired. I'm fighting for you. And you're not fighting for me. You're not looking after me. You're just constantly telling me I need to be more. So see how this story is affecting so many areas in our lives. So once more, where can you be a little kind? Give a little grace. Reconcile this relationship with your body. How can you respect your body, honor your body, worship it like a temple? See how it then thrives for you. They're kind of just showing me, just like an employer treats an employee. If an employer loves that employee, treats them well, gives them a raise, pays them well, gives them compliments, say, you're doing a great job, positive reinforcement, see how much harder that employee works for you. Look how they stick it out for the long haul. They'll never leave because they got it so good. How can you treat your body that way? Where your body's like, wow, I feel so good. I'm so beautiful. I'm worshipped. I'm like adored. Give me all them compliments. I will work so hard for you. Right? See the difference. See this approach shift, soften. It's so much more beautiful, isn't it? So once again, we all have a choice. Like, how do you want to live your life? Do you want to live it the way you've been living it? Or do you want to live it in a new way? And if you want to live it a new way, how can you lean in to what that means? So if you want to live a soft, beautiful, romanticized life, a life that's full of beauty, that's full of happiness and joy, compassion and freedom, well, you have to be willing to let go of where you've kept yourself in chains, where you've kept yourself sad and held down and held back. You have to be willing to give yourself the freedom. So where have you not been willing to free yourself? Very important thing to ask. So this moves forward to this beautiful awareness, because when we start offering up our woes, our worries, our issues, and we go, you know what, I'm going to give this to God. Once more, this form of surrender comes in, and it's so funny. They're also kind of just showing me how we so pick all the time. We're picking on improving, we're picking on ourselves, we're picking on how we can make our lives better. They're like, will you just leave it alone a moment, right? So when we stop picking, overanalyzing, once again, trying to figure it all out, and we just give ourselves permission to surrender, it's so beautiful, because it's like, wow, I can just give this to God. I can give this to my guides and go, please take this, and just go on your merry way. And it's amazing what happens when you do that. When you surrender your problems to God, when you give over your troubles, it's amazing how magic solutions find you on their own. And they want to show you this. So they're really showing me, like, please learn how to let go. Because the more you let go, the more you release control, the more solutions can easily come in. The more you're in a space of surrender, you're not closed off. You're free, you're open to receive, right? So they're just saying practice this, practice surrender. So offering up your worries, your differences to the one. For oneness shall make you whole. And this was huge as well, because when we realize we're part of one, we realize that we're just as equal as another. We're just as worthy as anyone else. We're all the same. And this equality allows us to give ourselves a bit more grace. and recognizing where we have been so hard on ourselves. So this awareness comes in. The universe is with us. We are not alone. You don't have to do everything by yourself. And you are supported. So this is what channeled. You were never alone. And now you're willing to see that truth. You're willing to ask for help, to receive it. So when we've come to this recognition, this is what channeled next. So dig deep. What's next? What's in store for your life? Manifestations are at rest. They're ready when you say the word. Keep quiet. Remain unafraid. Closet your desires to keep them safe, holy. And they showed me this like nose to the ground. You're so excited. You're so fueled with your passions that all you want to do is just get to it. You're just like, I'm scenting this joy. I'm scenting what I want to do. I'm following the trail, nose to the ground. Excitement returns again. Organized chaos. It may feel overwhelming, but it will all align. A lot happening at once. And then they kind of showed me this like promotion happening. So we're going to get promoted. Our lives are going to get this deep upgrade where it's like, oh my God, I'm getting all my needs met and more. And sometimes that can be overwhelming. Sometimes we get this big windfall and it's like, whoa, where'd all this come from? Okay? And it's so cool because once again, that can be overwhelming, but it's so amazing. It's like a good overwhelming. And we're like, oh my God, okay. But all of it is going to fall into place. So our power is returned. We've flushed the toxins. The loud stories no longer hold sway. Okay, the big ones that were mentioned, that you're alone. You can't ask for help. You must overgive to be appreciated. Now it's time to receive all the love you gave into the world. Now it's time to receive your due. You're finally willing to take it. You never knew that life could be so good. So beautiful. Like gives me chills. So this is what we're heading into now, is this whole new chapter, this whole new life, when we're willing to give it to ourselves. And it's so encouraging because it's like now you're at a point where it's like, well, now what? Now what? What's next? What's next for you? You've learned this lesson. You've learned how to leave all of this behind so you can now advance. So you can start going into what's good, what's happy, what's joyful. And it's so cool because it's almost like you're activating your manifestations now. You're going, okay, now that I know what is next, I'm going to activate this manifestation. I'm going to work towards it. I'm going to bring it in. And it's this excitement that now returns, right? So they're just showing me so many good things coming in all at once. Beautiful surprises, beautiful things. And you're like, wow, like I didn't know life could be like this. I didn't know I deserved this. And it's almost like the happy tears come in because it's like, wow, my inner child is just like, oh my God, I finally am free. I'm finally all of me and I get to receive all this goodness. And it's so healing. It's so special because this moment lands in you where you realize, oh my God, I could be myself. I can be myself. I don't have to hide anymore. I don't have to be protected anymore. I don't have to defend myself anymore. I can just be myself. And I can be all of it and more and be loved for it and blessed for it. I can share all of me because I'm willing. I'm willing to be whole. I'm willing to release the guilt, the pain, the suffering. I'm willing to step in to me. So, blessings are here. Promotions are here. The divine is here. And it's so cute because they're once again just showing me that story of like, okay, They finally learned the lesson. So open those floodgates. Let it all come in. They're finally open to receive their own good. Funnel it in. The universe is answering your call. The universe is listening to what you're asking for. So be very careful of what you're asking for. And they're just saying, like, keep it sacred, because it is. This next chapter of your life is going to be so forged in your authenticity that you have to be mindful of every step you take, making sure it's honoring you, making sure it's giving that vibration of love, making sure it's what you want. And so that's what they're kind of showing me, is like this honing of the craft. We're now crafting what's next. We're now forging what's next with such careful consideration, with such gentle care. We're not sharing it with everybody because it's ours. Okay, and that's what's key here, is like, you're no longer over giving anymore. You're not making it for everyone else. You're doing it for you. Okay, and we needed you to come to this awareness. This is for you. So whatever your dream is, what's next for you, you are being so careful with it. Because it's your heart. It's who you are. It's all of you and more. And this excitement comes. And that's what they're kind of showing me, is you're so invested and you're so in the energy of what you're creating. Like, there's no distractions. Your nose to the ground. Like, that's all you can see is your joy, is your excitement, is what lights you up. The distractions don't exist anymore. The old stories don't even get to come in anymore, because you're so focused on your intended target. And you're giving it all to yourself. And this is what that makes you magnetic. This is what brings in everything. This is what brings all the good stuff and more. So, are you willing? Are you ready? Let's do it. Let's free ourselves. Let's invest in ourselves. Let's move forward in what brings us light, joy, fun. And let's do it. Let's do the thing. Because the universe is waiting. It's just waiting for you. Waiting for you to say yes. So say yes. So my friends, that's all I have for this week. I really hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonates for you. If not, I hope it gives you a boost, if nothing else. But I'm sending you so much love, my friends. Have a beautiful week, and until next time.